Hey guys, Enigmatic Mr. L here. Welcome back to Fire Emblem Eugenics, the series where I take a look at every potential pairing in Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War and rank them from what I consider best to worst. This time we're looking at Tails' two children, Arthur and Tine. These are both magic users, mages who inherit wrath from their mother, but no other skills. So they could both really benefit from having the pursuit skill passed down to them, and they could both really benefit from having a solid magic stat. Arthur, in particular, when he promotes, he gains B rank swords, which isn't really that impactful. But more importantly, he goes from having a 5 movement to 9 movement, which is a huge boost. So you really want to get him to a promotion. Tiny's just kind of stuck at 5 move before promotion, and even after promotion, she gains 6 move. So, kind of like her mother, she's never really going to be that great. But she has Wrath, so she can clear the arena, eventually. She can get experience that way, and then once she promotes, she gains access to C rank swords, and B rank staffs. So you can just have her clear the arena, and then once she promotes, just have her staff abuse to gain experience. So she's she's gonna like get experience. It'll be fine. Just never going to be that particularly amazing. So with that out of the way, let's just get on with the list. Starting with Alec. Alec passes down Pursuit, which is beneficial, but doesn't pass down a solid magic stat. Most of the physical dads, they're going to pass down like a 15% magic growth, so it's not ideal. Nihil really isn't doing either one in favors, but Pursuit is at least something. Unlike Noish, not having Pursuit, of course, really hurts the kids. In addition, uh, a cost that's all right, can be useful here and there. It's unreliable, but rather just have Pursuit. And Critical doesn't really synergize well with their Wrath skill. You're probably just having them uh, at half HP or less, so they can guarantee critical hits. That's much better than the odd critical hit here and there. So, not nothing really like practical reason to go with Noish. Arden is alright, namely because he passes down the Vantage skill, which has very good synergy with Wrath. So when you're at half HP or less, all of your attacks will always land a critical hit, and you'll always strike first, even when the enemy attacks. So that can be very useful. The main problem I find with this is just that with having like a 15% magic growth, it's very risky to use because basically if you're at half HP or less and you're relying on taking down waves of enemies, and you don't kill them, you're pretty much dead. And with a 15% magic growth, it just becomes a lot more trouble than it's worth. Going from personal experience for a bit, I haven't done Art in particular. I've done Lex, but eventually I just gave up on the kind of Wrath Vantage build just because enemies start gaining much more HP and some resistance. It's just not worth it. But the Thoron tome you get in like chapter 7, you can probably use that to good effect if you manage to get Arthur promotion by like chapter 8. Wrath Vantage can be useful there, but generally it's all right. Azel gives the two kids both the things they really need, passes down Pursuit and passes down a solid magic stat. Arthur will have the highest magic growth tied with Claude, and Tenny has the highest magic growth with Azel. Additionally, this pairing is probably Tail 2's easiest pairing to make. It's the only time she has like a talk conversation that boosts base love points, boosts it by 100. She and Zell has a talk conversation in chapter 4 if he's not married. So beneficial there. Aside from that, has some niche use. This allows both of the kids to use L Fire before promotion, but not that impactful. Can pass down tomes to Arthur, but he starts with a Wind Tome. It's probably fine, probably better than like a Thunder or a Fire. I guess you can pass down an L Thunder, but it's not super impactful. And it allows both of the kids, once they promote, to use a Bolgano. That'd be on only 4 potential characters who can use that. The other being Leaf and Sed if Hazel is his father. They probably have better options all around. Like, just in general, fire magic outside of the enemy exclusive Valflame just isn't very good in this game. But it's at least something. But, of course, the main appeal here is Pursuit and a magic stat and easy, solid pairing to make. Lex is basically just Arden, but better, as usual, pretty much. So, Wrath Vantage, even though it is risky, it can be useful here and there. And Paragon is always helpful, especially here on Arthur in particular. Like I said, going from a 5 mounted unit to like a promoted mounted unit is a huge boon. So getting them up to promotion faster, I mean, it helps both the kids, but Arthur in particular, that's very solid. Honestly, even just without like Wrath Vantage, just Paragon alone, probably enough to put him here. But also take consideration uh, just the Wrath Vantage if you want to kind of go that risky route. And of course, the solid stats he always provides in HP and defense aren't too bad either. Finn passes down Pursuit and Miracle. Miracle also synergizes pretty well with Wrath. But if you can get down to low HP, they can become effective dodge tanks for one turn. And then they'll be dealing huge damage thanks to Wrath. And it also doesn't matter if they miss or they fail to like one hit KO the enemy because they'll just dodge the attack. You'll at least weaken the enemies up for them and your other units to attack on the next player phase. So that's something. Plus, having Pursuit, you can like strike twice, so that's good. Main problem here is that this is kind of just an awkward pairing to make. In order to get this, you kind of in chapter 3, you have to defeat Chagall and seize that castle fairly quickly. So for slower, more casual playthroughs, it might not be feasible to get it. And even if you're kind of like, and if you're playing quickly, conversely, you're like get defeat Chagall, seize that castle quickly. There's a good chance you're going to seize the next one fairly quickly as well. So then they won't Finn and Tail 2 won't have enough time to build up their love growth. So it's awkward there as well. But hence why I think the Lex is a little bit better. But if you can get past that, both of these pass down 2 skills that are really beneficial to both of these kids. So I still think it's good overall, even if it's a little bit awkward to get. Madeir passes down Pursuit and Accost. Accost probably more useful in most situations than Nihil. They can just attack at a distance, don't have to worry about their HP being drained. Possibly get Accost in addition to Pursuit. It's at least something. Oh, also, when Tine promotes, she gains Adept upon promotion. So Pursuit, Adept, and Accost is always a nice skill combination. It's at least something, but outside of that, not really helping with their magic stat. Think like Niche is fine. Do passes down like a slightly better magic stat. By slightly, we're going from like 15% to like 20%. And, solid growth elsewhere, as Do provides. Bargain, not as good as Paragon, obviously, but, can help them, if you save enough gold, have the Paragon band at least for the arena. Although in general, like later chapters, they're going to have enough gold anyway, just have Paragon, buy the Paragon bound outright before they do the arena, before they sell it back. But, it's still helpful. But not having Pursuit, not having like an actual good magic stat, I think like Niche is fine. Adept, Accost, and Adept, kind of like a poor man's Pursuit, and poor magic stat, going from 15% to 10%. Now only 5% difference, so across like almost 30 levels, it's about a 1.5 point difference on average, but still, combine that with the lack of Pursuit, there's not much really practical reason to go here. Holland, once these kids promote, Arthur has B rank swords by default, Tine has C, and Holland with his Holy Blood will make Arthur be able to have A rank and Tine have B rank. So Arthur can use like the Silver Sword or any blades. Tine can use like the like Brave Sword or something like that. But there's not much practical purpose to this because even after promotion, they're probably still going to just be using their like magic based attacks. But it is at least something. Lewin. So if you've seen my video, most overrated Fire Emblem unit in each game, where I called Horse Seti the most overrated unit in Genealogy of the Holy War, you might be expecting me to knock on this, saying things like, oh, having, Horse Seti at the start of Gen 2, it's not that beneficial, the enemies are weak, it's just kind of overkill. Arthur is actively competing with Leaf and Seliph to get promotion. They're 2 units they want promoted. He doesn't even start on a horse, and I kind of stand by most of what I said in that video, but it doesn't change the fact that this is still definitely the best pairing for Arthur. It's fine for Tine. This kind of Way better than like Azel. It's kind of like knock Azel down a peg, but then knock everyone else down a peg as well. Main draw here is, of course, Forsetti, and if you're patient with Arthur, get him up to promotion. A 9 movement unit with a 30 might weapon, plus like 20 speed, plus 10 skill. That is really good. Even like before promotion, this can help in, I forget the castle name, but Chapter 7, the like southwest section, a lot of like Thunder Mages. If you just throw him like in all willy nilly, even Forsetti and the boost speed, there's a good chance he'll die, but he can still take on like a good number of enemies, defeat a good like even if he's not, taking out the boss in every single enemy, he can knock out a good chunk of that, make that section, a lot easier. So that's where his increased availability with Forsetti really becomes helpful. Beyond that, critical doesn't really synergize that well with Wrath, but I mean, it's fine. At least allows Forsetti to get the odd critical hit in there and there. Adept works well for Forsetti because huge speed boost can use that well. Tine gets Adept for promotion. This is one of the pairings I would say that, in general, if you're putting thought into your pairings, most of the kids you care about having Pursuit will get it. But this is one of the pairings I would say it's still good even without that. You might think, well, Arthur, because of the high speed with Forsetti, doesn't need Pursuit and just ride an Adept. And that's probably true for like generic enemies, but if you do this pairing, I do think Arthur is a very good user of the Pursuit band. Because when you start getting later chapters, like some of the more difficult boss fights where you like really need like your best units, it can be helpful to have Pursuit in addition to Adept. Also, like enemies with Pavice, that's always a pain to deal with. So I think this is a very good candidate for the Pursuit ring. Tine is arguably like better with Azel because slightly more magic with Azel and Pursuit, but I mean, even factoring that in, this pairing is still way better in a vacuum than Azel. So definitely the best pairing in a vacuum, possibly just overall, but these lists are mostly just kind of looking at the parents like in a vacuum. Beowulf passes down Pursuit, like Gemka, poor magic. Not that significant, but I think it's enough to place. I would either have like Midir or Alec. Not much too else to say there. Claude, Claude passes down a solid magic stat. Tied Arthur and his followed by Zell and followed by Claude with the same magic growth. Tine has slightly more with his Zell, but that's about it. Can pass down like Tome Inheritance. It's not super impactful. Arthur, compared to like Zell, have more luck and resistance, which I mean is fine, I guess. Main problem is without Pursuit. It's just way better with like Azel. Like hitting hard once with good magic stat. It's fine, I guess. You can do what I did when I tried this pairing firsthand. Just have Arthur inherit the Pursuit man, but he's basically just almost identical to Azel, but with additional investment. There's nothing too special. Once Tine promotes, she can use A rank stabs thanks to his Holy Blood as opposed to B, which allows her to use Rescue, but you're much better off just using like Rescue on a mounted Leaf as opposed to like this 6 movement user. And she can also use Fortify, which is basically like a free level up. That's at least something. Not that impactful, but still has a niche use. Mainly draw here is just solid magic stat, which I think earns him a spot at least in okay. And then we have the substitute units, Amid and Linda. And this is where it gets kind of tricky because I think Linda is much better. You have a much better reason to choose Linda over Tine than you have like Amid over Arthur. Like Amid, I mean, he has a solid magic stat, like 40%, better than a lot of physical kids, but not getting a horse pump promotion. I can't give him any higher than maybe like top of niche. Linda, excluding Azel, I think is a better than pretty much any tail 2 pairing, maybe like top of good, maybe even like here, because she has both a solid magic stat and she has Paragon, which is always helpful. No Pursuit, which is why I think Azel is better, but that's still something. So like averaging in, I think maybe like top of okay. I think that's fair. And that is all for this list. As always, thank you so much for watching. Any pairings you think I overrated, any you think underrated, please let me know in the comments below. This is Enigmatic Mr. L, signing out.